This is my 2-year review of my $70,000 mistake here.
Nearly 20% of all new vehicle buyers in Q2 of this year committed to monthly payments of $1,000 or more.
So I pay like $1,300 a month. I just can't afford the car anymore.
So today we're going to be taking a look at people who honestly just regret buying their car. A pretty straightforward video and will hopefully help de-influence you if you're looking at purchasing a vehicle right now. The high car payments, the regular maintenance, the repair costs that will inevitably come with it if you purchase a modern car are honestly just getting to be too much. We have a ton of stuff to look at today, along with comments from you guys from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave it in the comments down below. But let's just jump right into this.
I just got a brand new Jeep Wagoneer. It has literally less than 3,000 miles. I think it has 2,700 miles on it, and it's already in the shop. I went on a road trip to Houston. That's 3 hours away. Not that crazy. And while we were on the way back, the check engine light came on. And then I took it in. There's something wrong with the brakes too, and there's a bunch of recalls on it. So I got a loaner car. It's a Wagoneer, the electric one, the Wagoneer S. Love the red leather interior, and it's fully loaded, all the bells and whistles, has 2,600 miles on it, and the check electrical light just came on. So now I have to return my brand new loaner car. I've had it for less than 24 hours to the Jeep dealership, and they still don't know what's wrong with my car.
So when the loaner car starts to break down right away, you know you're in trouble. It is also interesting to see how many people love red interiors, and as crazy as it sounds, can be one of the deciding factors on purchasing a vehicle like the Grand Wagoneer that's $80,000, instead of actually taking a look at the reliability, the maintenance costs, and all the other problems that go into it. So we can look at some of the comments. This surprises nobody. Why do people keep buying Jeeps? Do you not watch the app of all the horrible reviews of this vehicle? So I mean, if you're not a huge car person, I totally understand. Hopefully these types of videos can shed a light to a lot of people who don't really know about all the issues with a lot of vehicles, so you won't get into the same situation as that woman, both cars having issues when they're basically brand new. A comment from you guys goes very similar to what I just said. People are willing to go almost $100,000 in debt for a car and spend countless hours of their life working to pay off that loan, but won't take 5 minutes to research which cars are junk. I do think one of the positives, if you do decide to look it up on TikTok, after you search up a particular vehicle's issues, look at a couple of videos, the algorithm will start showing you tons of different videos on your For You page. So it could broaden your horizons a little bit, showing you a lot of the issues, especially when we're talking about modern vehicles. But unfortunately, there are many who don't even take that first step. They just jump right in and spend apparently $70,000 on a Ford Explorer.
This is my 2-year review of my $70,000 mistake here, purchasing this vehicle in 2023 just because I needed a vehicle, and then walking in and letting them play with the numbers for me. Since the 2-year warranty is up, I started doing all the maintenance myself, and so one thing I noticed right off the bat was that my cabin air filter was filthy, so they hadn't changed it in the 2 years we've had it. This right here is already starting to change the color. It's making me angry. Several pieces of chip paint within the first 5,000 miles, and I brought it up and they told me that the paint was not under warranty. They also told me by Ford specs they were allowed to have these all over the car.
I mean, there's tons of issues. The paint chipping already, the dealership not actually doing maintenance, like the cabin air filter being filthy, and of course not looking at the interest rate, how much you're actually going to pay in the end. $70,000 for a Ford Explorer, even if it was the top of the line trim, is just absolutely brutal. But up next we have kind of a two-parter talking about a very popular vehicle over the past 5 years, the Kia Telluride.
Tell me what you got.
The Kia has about 47,000 miles on it right now. Bought it for around 39,000, 12,000 to roll over actually. And then I added warranty to the car too, so
Just a mere 12,000, right? Rolling over into
I know it's crazy. I know. I added warranty and the outdoor, it almost ended up being like 60K. But my mom, she was able to co-sign for me with like 15% interest. So I pay like $1,300 a month. I just can't afford the car anymore. I broke over my man and I need something cheaper, and I saw the 2018 Toyota Highlander, and I mean, since our last conversation, I've been seeing you on TikTok and I learned so much from you, and I really just wanted to call again to see if we could work together because, yeah, I need to find something cheaper.
So at least this person knew that they made a huge mistake and they want to go to a Toyota Highlander that's a little bit older. The 12 grand of negative equity to start, most likely not having great credit if they needed a cosigner that still had 15% interest rate. You're paying 60 grand for a Kia Telluride, which I don't have to tell you, if you watched my videos, have a plethora of problems as well. 15% interest is insane for a Telluride. $1,300 a month for any car is insane. I mean, again, I am glad that she watched this creator who does a lot of this type of content and she realized that she's in a very bad spot, cannot afford it anymore. So she's trying to change her ways, but nonetheless is going to end up losing a lot of money.
It's crazy seeing these cars come in on trade-in, like that Bronco and this Kia Telluride, that a couple years ago people were paying $10,000, $15,000 over a sticker for these, and now it's just another beat up used car after a heavy detail. This car will be on our lot for like low to mid 20 grand range. You could come in 0 down and buy this car for like $400 a month, and it's a 2020 with 65k on it, so it's really not even that old of a car. I mean, people were literally on a wait list for 6 months waiting for them cars just to pay 10 grand over sticker for them.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the way they look. Overall, they do look better than most Kias, I will say. But this was another one of the vehicles lumped into paying over asking, apparently being on wait lists as well during COVID. It was the new nice mom SUV you could be rolling around your kids. Apparently that was worth $50,000, $60,000. And then within a couple of years, you're probably seeing them at around 20, 25, let alone any of the possible maintenance issues you could have with it. But one of the arguments that I see all the time when people are talking about new versus used vehicles is that somebody ended up buying an old beater that needed a ton of maintenance, everything was breaking down, and they don't want to be in that same situation again. So they're going to buy something brand new. They don't want any issues, which I mean, I do understand, but especially when we're talking about today's vehicles, that doesn't mean you're not going to have problems as well. We have a clip up on screen right now. When you've been traumatized by used cars, so you go get a 2024 and $40,000 in debt, and the check engine light still comes on barely a year after you get it. So even after putting yourself in the hole $40,000, you're still dealing with reliability issues in the end. We can look at some of the comments that bring up another good point. The top comment, if you aren't a car person, buy a Toyota, which I do understand and agree with, but the next comment also makes a very good point. I hate the buy a Toyota comments. It's gotten to Toyota's head. They're now charging a premium, which I do agree with also. I'm pretty sure they just unveiled the new 4Runner TRD Pro, and I believe the MSRP starts at like $65,000 or $67,000. And then I also got recommended on my For You page a Toyota dealership near me, and they had one for sale that was about 75 grand. I guess that means they still have dealer markups some places, but if you do want to get a Toyota, especially something new now, you are going to pay quite a bit of money. I mean, even the used market as well. Very difficult to find a good deal when it comes to those brands. You could lump in Honda as well. It's just getting harder and harder to afford any vehicle in today's world. But we could go over to a simple screenshot. This day financially ruined my life, and it's him signing on the dotted line for his new car. And we could go right over to the comments. I will never finance a vehicle ever again in my life. Me with my Jeep Compass, $610 a month. It's okay, bro. It's 2025. We're all signing our lives away for these cars. And that's why there's unlimited content online when we're talking about high car payments or issues with modern vehicles. People are still purchasing. Plus insurance, I eat water and ice, salt and tomatoes. Paid $2,000 a month with insurance. It's better to go the repo route. And you could lump that into the repossession videos that I make consistently. As I get older, I realize how ridiculous it is to buy a new car. Bro, I'm paying $1,200 a month. Ugh. And the vehicle's not even going to last as long as you think. We have a comment from one of you guys. Anyone remember when we were growing up, our parents didn't buy new cars every 3 to 5 years. They bought one every 15 to 20. Same thing with appliances, washers, dryers, refrigerators. They lasted for years and years. Companies got smart and started making junk products that won't last long. I agree with that. Hence the company profit goes up and we, the consumer, get screwed. They're banking off of our ego and their marketing teams that are top tier. Your whole personality's wrapped up in what kind of vehicle you drive. Oh, you got a Mercedes or BMW? You must be rich. Nice big lifted giant pickup trucks. For for the tough working man, even though they're financing a $90,000 vehicle they probably can't afford, I mean, we have a prime example right here. You look happier. Thanks. I was sad and went to trade my car in for the 3rd time this year. How much negative equity are we rolling in this time? Bought a new car 6 months ago and I'm already ready to trade it in. It doesn't feel like me. You know, vehicles were primarily made to go from point A to point B, but as I just said, it needs to be your entire personality now, and you wonder why we see people in 5 figures worth of negative equity constantly. And real quick, we have a couple of the clips of people regretting buying electric vehicles. Again, it's like there's zero research that goes into actually purchasing any of these vehicles. They want it and immediately go buy it, and then after that they realize it's not like owning a normal gas car.
We had a young kid that loved a car, bought it, drove home to another state, called us the next day and had buyer's remorse. And in the car business, you buy a car, you drive it away, deal's done. So I'm going to call him to just figure this thing out.
You've been talking to everybody and your dad's called in. I figured I'd take a turn and work something out, man. I don't want you to feel like we're not taking care of you, but I also want to make sure that we're being treated fairly. I don't think you need to be in a bad spot. I don't think we need to be in a bad spot. Did you just like, oh crap, I shouldn't have bought an electric car?
The car is great. I love the car. There's nothing wrong with it except for the charging. It's a deal breaker for me, honestly. I don't have my own home. I live in an apartment, so there's no way to charge at my house. My parents don't want to put one because they don't have any electric vehicles, and then I don't want to stop every hour and a half and charge my car for 30 minutes when I could just fill it up in 10 and get triple the range.
I would initially say that this has to be some sort of bait video for engagement until you see video after video with these kinds of examples.
Why didn't anybody tell me that you have to pay to charge your electric car? Hold on. Yo, I did not know that we was paying to charge these cars. And I know to some people that might sound crazy, but for me, I was just like, what's the benefit of having an electric car if you also gotta pay to charge it? Is it like emissions? Is that the biggest thing? Saving our environment? Mind you, the car was discharged 3 days ago.
The lights are on, but no one's home. Gas isn't free, why would electricity be? I blame the public school system. It really just doesn't stop.
The most annoying thing about having an electric car isn't actually charging the car. It's the fact that even if you charge the car all the way, you're only gonna have like half as much mileage range as you would a normal car.
It's almost as if they show the range of each one of these vehicles when you purchase it. I don't have a problem with electric cars personally. I still think it'll take time to do research and improve the batteries even more and increase the range to be able to outpace any of the gas vehicles. You get 500 or 1,000 miles, you know, that'd be amazing. Hopefully we would get there someday, but right now you're kind of sitting at around anywhere from 200 to maybe 400 miles. And that's an estimate. If you're in a colder climate, it'll be much less as well. But I guess a good amount of people purchasing don't do any of that kind of research and basically have to learn the hard way after they spent 5 figures on that car.
We have a Porsche customer that's using a little bit too much gas on DoorDash. They're looking to return their car, I guess. That's not necessarily something we typically do, but we'll see if we can make something happen for this guy. I didn't expect him to hit me with that. Yeah, I don't even know what to say there.
Me and my wife bought that Porsche Macan from me yesterday.
Okay, yeah. How you guys liking it so far?
Man, is there a way we should return this thing, or maybe we could swap it out for something else?
Swap it out for something else? What do you mean? What happened?
Well, there's nothing wrong with the car, nothing like that. The only thing is, you know, I've been using it for DoorDash last night and then today in the morning, but man, it just used too much gas, man.
For your Porsche?
Yeah. The Macan that we just bought yesterday, I don't think it's gonna work out.
In regards to that, honestly, there's not much I can do there. I don't want to leave you in a bad spot, but work with me and I'll try to work with you.
Honestly, man, we can't figure something out. I think I'm gonna just return it then.
But how return the vehicle for what? You guys traded in your other vehicle, so how would we go about that?
I don't even know.
Before I say anything about it, we can look at the comments. DoorDashing in a Porsche is wild. People really need to make better financial decisions and quit worrying about what other people think of them. I mean, my thoughts exactly right there. Why are people using high-end cars for delivery services? Because they care about what people think of them. I think it's amazing wondering, he qualified to finance a Porsche working at DoorDash. Well, Porsche Macans are not nearly as expensive as people think, especially if you buy it used. The depreciation is brutal. A 2020 Porsche Macan right here I could see is $39,000. A 2015 Macan S is only $17,000. I see another 2020 for $29,000 right here. 2017 for $24,000. I mean, of course, if you buy it brand new, it's going to be much more expensive, but people want the Porsche badge on the front and back of the car, even though he realized very quickly that premium gas is going to be much more expensive while he's working all day doing DoorDash, and had buyer's remorse within 24 hours. That's just insane. And this isn't even a one-off clip either. Here's another one. Customer wants to back out completely of the car deal he bought 2 days ago. So this one, instead of it being a Porsche, was a BMW, so we could look at some of the comments. FYI, always check insurance before you buy a car. It's part of the expense. That could go with the Macan. Everybody wants to be big time in a BMW until they realize it's for big timers. $15,000 in negative equity and proceeds to buy an M4. Oh man. And as we're on the topic with the dealerships, we could take a look at the most recent data for car payments.
This is insane. Nearly 20% of all new vehicle buyers in Q2 of this year committed to monthly payments of $1,000 or more. That's nearly 1 in every 5 buyers, which is a record high. We also saw more extended loan terms in the second quarter of this year, with 22.4% of new vehicle loans being stretched for 84 months or longer, which is also a record high, up from 17.6% just a year ago. And sure, I get it, the longer-term loan does help lower monthly payments, but it also increases how much interest you pay over time. It greatly increases your risk of being upside down in that loan, making it extremely difficult to get out of. It's usually not ideal. Car buyers are also putting less money down, they're financing at higher rates, and let's be honest just for a second, in many cases, buyers are buying way more car than they even need. According to a recent analysis from Edmunds, the average monthly new car payment right now is $756 a month, and the average term is just shy of 70 months. On the used car side of things, the average monthly payment is $559 per month, with the average term also just shy of 70 months. How long before $1,000 a month is just the normal payment?
Well, there are a lot of car dealership videos that are trying to make that $1,000 monthly payment something that's almost a good deal. I have a $1,500, $2,000 car payment, so $1,000 isn't that much. Even the data from the used market being $550 and 70 months, I don't want to hear that argument either anymore. When we would initially see very high car payments in the 4 figures like that, I would see people arguing, oh, they must be doing it for a very short term, 24 months, 36 months. And now we're seeing the average 70 months and 84 being much more popular. Something to also add on to that, the comment here, people financing for 84 months are doing so at 14 to 17%, which is bonkers. Again, not even talking about the car insurance that goes with it, or something that we're about to see, the maintenance and repair costs. We have a comment from one of you guys to anyone considering a Mercedes-Benz. If you can't afford the repair costs right now, then you shouldn't buy the car. Let's just take a look at this BMW.
Y'all, somebody pinch me. Like, pinch me. Let me put on my shades because I can't be taken serious at this moment, y'all, before I start crying. So, just got my battery done, right? My front and my back brakes are also going out. Front brakes, $3,500, $11.40. Back brakes, $2,500, $13.96. I could have those backwards. All in all, $5,500. I want to rip this up. So I guess I won't be going anywhere that requires me to use my brakes. Come on, baby.
I would also like to add that that looks to be a BMW X2, so kind of low on the totem pole when you're talking about SUVs and you're still paying $6,000 for brakes, let alone the battery. But if you want that BMW, no matter if it's the highest trim or the base model, you're going to be paying these types of prices to keep it alive. Everybody wants to be boss bae until it's time to pay.
All right, quick update on my truck. It is a 2025 Ram 1500 e-Torque. It's a lemon for 2 separate issues. It's been to the shop 11 times. I've had it for a year. It doesn't have 10,000 miles on it yet. It's been to the shop 4 times for this engine noise. And I picked it up yesterday, and I think at this point they're honestly just replacing random parts to try and figure out what's causing the noise. So this time it got 2 new drive belts, and they ordered a new water pump because The manager said that the tech thought he heard a bad bearing in the water pump. So that's been ordered along with the new alternator. I do have a new alternator on, but it's like the connection is broken. So it's on there with zip ties right now because they had to reorder it. So yeah, I'm waiting for those two parts to come in. I have to take it back for that. I haven't heard the noise, but I've only driven it twice. And usually like after I get it back, it takes a few times of me driving it, for the noise to come back. So we'll see if they actually fix it this time. I don't know. I'm not optimistic.
That sounds like an absolute great time. It goes in the shop basically monthly since you bought it. I mean, I don't know how much worse it could get. It definitely sounds like a lemon to me. And we could take a look at the caption for this video. I miss the 4Runner. If you're talking about the older versions of it, that's why it's so popular. Maybe it's not the best gas mileage, but overall the reliability is much better than a 2025 Ram. Up next, we have another one of somebody trying to flex with the luxury cars, paying an ungodly amount of money until they realize that they just can't pay it anymore.
Hey, Yusuf brother, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm calling about that Mercedes BMW and the BMW
M850.
M850, okay, M850i. Tell me what you got.
So I have these two cars, right? I'm paying 5,000 a month, Yusuf. I'm tired of paying 5,000, right? I think I can get something much better than 5,000. I know I'm overpaying. The stupidity that I did, I actually found a local blower because I needed a car at that time. And I was not being smart with my decision. So I bought, I leased the car locally in California. That's the worst mistake I did, to be honest.
So this is a very long clip with him rambling, blaming California a lot for these vehicle choices. I don't really know how that ties in that much, but an 8 Series BMW and a S-Class Mercedes, $5 grand a month. I think the only thing that's worse than those payments is him realizing how much those vehicles depreciated when he tries to sell them or give them back, trade in, anything along the lines of that, because especially those two vehicles love to immediately tank in price as soon as you drive it off the lot. $5,000 a month will get you a $700,000 mortgage, and now he's got two luxury vehicles that he regrets getting in the first place. He keeps blaming California as if he doesn't insist on making the worst decisions. I'm not sure where he lives in California, but if he lives around the LA area with some of the wealthiest people on the planet, would probably have a big role in him spending $5 grand a month to look like he's super rich. Bro, I feel bad for you have to sit and listen to this dude rambling. So it really seemed like he was trying to make excuses along with knowing that he made bad financial decisions. Just a mess of a situation. But here we could go over to a very different way of buyer's remorse. Somebody just committing fraud after they got repoed because they couldn't make the payments.
Your car was repoed, but now you want to say that the monthly payments that you made for 3 years are fraudulent? What do y'all be thinking? $521 is your monthly payment for your vehicle, and you're saying that because the vehicle was repoed that the transactions are fraudulent and you don't owe that money? You filed a claim of $521 for the last 2 years, saying that the transactions are fraudulent. You don't know what the payment is for. You don't know who this finance company is. But in the first sentence, you said that your car was repoed over the weekend. How does that make sense? But then had the audacity to say that the vehicle had been repoed 4 other times and you didn't know that any additional payments were going to be due. You don't know the definition of fraud. If you couldn't afford the vehicle, baby, that's all that you had to say. But don't report it as being fraudulent because you were irresponsible and not paid your note. Baby, you need to take it up with your finance company. We aren't going to report these transactions as being fraudulent because you authorized it and now you're trying to look for some money. Claim is denied.
It's amazing to think that people could try to claim a chargeback or that they didn't recognize the transactions from their credit card and it would just magically give them all of their money back. That's how easy it is. Clearly, they're going to look into this, and now there are people who do this for a living. So yeah, you're not going to get that $500 a month back. Very interesting story, but wouldn't doubt that they have some buyer's remorse. Some of the comments, I couldn't be a fraud analyst or investigator ever again in my life because the things people would do voluntarily, like pull money from an ATM, then call it fraud, even though you have the bank's cameras and it's clearly them. Payments are fraud because of a repo. You drove the car for 3 years. That is a new one though. I have not seen that kind of fraud making these videos.
Big yikes, guys. Tesla's now accepting Cybertruck trade-ins, except the owners are bleeding money on these deals. One owner bought theirs for $127 grand 8 months ago, drove it less than 9,000 miles, and now Tesla is generously offering him $78,000. That's almost $50,000 of lost value in 8 months and less than 9,000 miles. That's 38% depreciation. And this is why I tell people, let other people take the hit on depreciation and you go buy a used car that's at least a few years old in cash. So Elon, good thing you left the White House. Now you can focus on your own house.
So this is one that's almost universally hated. I mean, most people just ended up buying it because it looks so odd. It wasn't that great being a pickup truck. It just looked like a wedge, like a trash can. And now people are paying the price, losing $50,000 just to be different and be weird, to impress other people. And can't really say I didn't see this coming. But that's all I got for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. YouTube thinks you'll like this video popping up on screen right now. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll talk to you guys later.